With NFL license transferring to Topps, is Topps Chrome taking over as the top product to collect over Prism? Any tips of moving leads from eBay off the site to maximize ROIs?
I ended up finding this Peyton Manning 2000 Donruss. I was really just trying to get a good ballpark value.
So what's the best way to alter a card to send it to PSA? Would you use scissors or a razor?
We are live for the Eric Michael Show. If you're someone that likes sports, money, business, and all those things, like, comment, subscribe, and let's pick a topic today that is relevant to start this thing. So what is relevant today? We're in July, and I want to specifically go over selling football cards and kind of football cards in general, but more specifically selling. And one of the most common questions I get is, how do I sell my cards? So what I'm about to go over is kind of going to answer that, but I'm also going to go into football as well. All right. So let me explain. So it's always best when I share my screen and actually give real examples. So let me share the good old screen here and go after it. And by the way, if you stay to the end, I'm doing the giveaway. So for 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, I opened up a case of 2021 National Treasures, got a bunch of nice cards, one lucky subscriber who also commented. I'm going to give it all away. That's going to be at the end. So if you're someone that registered and you commented and you liked and you subscribed, at the end, you could possibly win. It should be about $3,000 to $4,000 in cards I'm giving away, roughly in that range. There was like a Jerry Rice auto I pulled. And some other cool stuff. A Zach Wilson National Treasures RPA at 49 that used to be worth a lot of money. That's not anymore. But if it was like 3 years ago, it would have been good. But anyways, let's go into football. All right. So if you've never heard me talk before, which you probably have, but if you have not, you would have heard me say this. The way football works, and really any sports card works, is you have the offseason where it's low. It usually gets high before the season starts. And then it kind of drops down as the season begins. So let me give you an example of like, let's go like last year, right? Let's do like Bryce Young. This is like a classic example of how football works. All right, so check this out. We have, this is, I don't know if this is going to be a good example. Okay, this is a good example. So this is last year. Keep in mind what you're looking at right here. So you have in July, this is like July 14th, which is actually the same exact date as today, except this is last year. So last year, this card of Bryce Young, it's a silver prism PSA 10, was worth about $214. Great. As the season gets closer, you can see this card has now went up in value. Right before the season started, this card was selling for like, I guess there's one that sold for like $255. It got all the way up to like $244. It didn't go up a lot, but it went up like 15-20%, right? And what happens when the season begins is, actually, you know what's a better way to illustrate this? Let me do this. Check this out. Stroud, silver. I'm just gonna pull up the guys that were like the hot rookies from last year. Will Levis, who obviously disaster, right? And Anthony Richardson as well. Aha. All right. Now we can look at all this stuff at one time. All right. So if we go back the past 365 days, check out all these nice, crazy graphs. You see at the same time, like all at the same time, right when the NFL season started, boop, they all went down. Okay, that top one is CJ Stroud. That red one is Anthony Richardson. And the dark blue one is Bryce Young. And the yellow one is Will Levis. Yeah, he's bad. I lost a lot of money on him. But do you see how they all went down at the same time? It's because what happened is the season started, or really what happened is before the season, you could see it goes up and up and up a little bit, and then boop, it goes down because most guys just can't live up to the hype and expectation. So right before the season started, like let's call it here, these cards were selling for a lot of money because people were really excited. There was a lot of hype, and all these guys had pretty decent like rookie years. They were all like, oh yeah, like these guys are all going to be stars. Will Levis had a good year. Stroud obviously had a phenomenal year. Richardson had promise. Bryce Young was but people still don't care because there's Bryce Young collectors, which then generates hype, momentum, excitement. And it's just very difficult to live up to that hype. So the minute they don't, even like I know these other quarterbacks didn't have great years. Bryce Young came on back at the end, but even CJ Stroud, who had a pretty good year, like not MVP level year, but like definitely above average for a quarterback, even his value plummeted because it's just very hard to keep up with this hype and momentum. It just is. It's just how sports works. Just most guys don't live up to expectations. So you want to sell before the season is the point I'm trying to make. So if you look at this year, right? Let's pull up like a Jaden Daniels Silver Prism. Then this year there's so many. Like you have Jaden Daniels. Also you have Bo Nix, right? And then you also have, let's call it Michael Penix. You have Penix, and then you have May, right? So these are some of the rookie quarterbacks, and then let's throw in Caleb Williams as well. I actually think Caleb Williams, if any of them, is going to have the best year, but that's just speculation. All right, same thing, right? All these guys are selling for astronomical amounts of money. Look, Jaden Daniels, his Silver Prism right now, the last sale at $1,250. This green one, which is Caleb Williams, is $700. The light blue one of Bo Nix is $450. The yellow one of Penix is $370. And Drake May, that's his variation silver. So let's take out Drake May. All right, they're all selling for a lot of money, right? This is pretty good amounts of money here, and just I can't get any guarantees. But if I could make a guarantee, I would and say that these guys, like this Jaden Daniels card, that's $1,200. That is an insane amount of money for a Silver Prism PSA 10 of someone who's just played 1 year. I know he had the greatest rookie season of all time. Trust me, I get it. But CJ Stroud also had an amazing rookie year, and his was like, what was it, like $700 before the season or $800, and it shot down to $400 right away. So how good Jaden Daniels would have to play would not only be what he did last year, but even better for his value to go up, which is why, in my opinion, it's just such not a good investment for that reason. So that is why we sell football before the season. Now, the best places to sell football. So the best places to sell football, let me stop sharing my screen here. The best places to sell football, you can write these down, and this is just my opinion and what I've been able to do. So number 1 is Facebook groups. Number 2 are sports card shows. And number 3 is eBay. And why in that order? So in sports cards, you want to gain people's contact information and build meaningful relationships, right? Just like in any business. Because if you have, right, they say your network is your net worth. So theoretically, right, part of the problem with, or not theoretically, but part of the problem with eBay is that they have high fees, right? Just you sell something for $500, you're only netting actually like $430. It takes away like 13% from your profit margins. And the way to overcome that is through selling stuff with no fees. So for example, when I do deals on Facebook, or when I used to buy and sell sports cards way more back in the day, I would get people's phone numbers or emails or Facebook Messenger, and I would save it in a Google spreadsheet. So every time I wanted to do a deal, and let's say I had a bunch of football cards, I would look back at the year prior, see what I sold to people, and just text them, hey, do you want this? And a lot of times they would say yes. And the more important thing is when people paid me, they would just pay me straight through Venmo or Cash App or Zelle or Wire or whatever. So I would literally get no fees when people would pay me money because they trusted me already. We already did a deal together and I already sent them a card. So for that reason, that's why Facebook groups, in my opinion, are the best. Instagram's kind of similar. I haven't used Instagram that much to buy and sell sports cards. I just use Instagram as a platform to post content for what I do now, obviously. But that's why Facebook groups are the best, in my opinion. Also, it's really like organized, right? You could have a Facebook group and you know every single person in there has the intention of buying and selling sports cards, which is pretty cool, right? You have these separate groups. Instagram doesn't really have that. And then card shows next, because card shows are like hit or miss. So they're very like time efficient, but you have to travel to get to them. At least if you're traveling to a big one. So you could go to a card show and in 3-4 hours rip like 20, 30, 50, $100,000 in deals and buy a bunch of cards in just a few hours. But It takes time to get there. You have to travel. Not every card show is great. Like it just kind of takes 1 or 2 deals to make a card show. But if those 1 or 2 deals don't happen, the card show won't be as good. So that's kind of the pro and con of card shows. And I try to only go to bigger ones and smaller ones. Generally speaking, smaller card shows are better for buying, in my experience, and bigger card shows are better for selling. That's just my personal experience. By the way, if you guys have any questions, I see you guys have a bunch of questions in the chat. Just call that number below, and I'll start to rip callers. And like I said, I'm an open book. I don't hide anything. But yeah, so that's card shows. And then eBay is kind of my last resort. So what I do with football cards, for example, is I'll buy and grade them. So I'll buy like in March and April and May, and I'll get them graded, and they'll come back to me in July and August, and I'll try to sell them in July and August. And as it gets closer to the season, which is early September, what I'll do is like last resort, like 10 days before the season, there's always some cards that you have difficulty selling, maybe because you paid too much, or maybe because it's just stuff nobody wants anymore, or whatever the reason is. Then I'll just kind of bulk auction them on eBay, and I'll usually send them to a consignment shop. I used to use DC Sports 87 a lot when I would do it. If you don't know who DC Sports 87 is, they're a big consignment shop. But that's what I would do. Kind of my strategy for selling football cards. So I'm buying in March and April, and I'm selling in July and August. And people always ask me, like, when is the best time to sell? That's a common question. Like, when is the best time to sell? So just general advice, like the closer to the season you get. But the way the offseason kind of works is guys have like spikes. So you have a bunch of money invested in Sam Darnold, let's call it. I have some money invested in Sam Darnold, so I'll use him as an example. And let's say he plays his second preseason game and he goes 10 for 13 with 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, and people overreact. They're like, oh my God, Sam Darnold's going to be amazing. Then just go and sell it right then. Well, he pops up. Or maybe the guy doesn't pop up for whatever reason. He just slowly goes up in value over time, and just sell it as you get into late August. But different guys will pop up at different points of the season. And to give you like a good example of this, so let me see if I can find this. Hold on. Let's see if I could find this. So here's a great example of like timing. Let me see if I can find this. So Sam Howell, I know Sam Howell, right? But last year he got traded to the Seahawks, and I thought to myself, I was like, oh, let's look back in the past year. Okay, so I thought to myself, I was like, well, Sam Howell, he could possibly compete for the starting gig, right, in Seattle with Geno Smith. And even though he probably won't be the starter, but just if he gains any type of hype or excitement, his values will pop up, which is good because I can make some money. And he's already selling for what a backup should sell for. So there's not much downside, right? People are already expecting him to be a backup. So it's either I break even or I make a lot of money because he pops up in value for some reason. And you can see here, check this out. So, Sam Howell, I bought him like really low, right? This is just a silver prism PSA 10. That's a good indicator of his market. It was really low. And then he got traded to Seattle. Okay. I forgot when he got traded to Seattle. But right in early August, he started to like play well. There were reports he was playing well in training camp, and he would possibly compete for the starting role. And you could guess what I did, right? I bought this card for like bought Sam Howell for like 60, $70. And then I sold them here for like, early August for like 125, right? It went up 50%. I had some other cards, like it was like a blue shimmer prism PSA 10 and some other flawless stuff, some random stuff, but this is just a good indicator of his market. And this is the point I'm trying to make here is right here. He spiked because there were reports that he was playing well in camp last year, and I just sold it. I didn't wait. And then he ended up going back down because he was not the starter. But yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. And while I wait for you guys to call in, I will go over some questions. Let's see, some questions here. Thank you for all your advice. Started grading cards. You're welcome. Good luck. Hopefully you make a lot of money. Let's see. I've been buying a lot of JJ McCarthy April to May, and the cards I bought for like $70 to $90 are now only worth $35 to $45. Okay. So the reason for that, Megan Pierce. So the guys that tend to go up in value more as the season goes on, or as you get closer to the season, are not the rookies. They're the guys from the last year. So let me attempt to explain what I'm about to talk about because it's kind of confusing. All right. Let's use your example, right? Let's look at a McCarthy Silver Prism. All right. Let's look. So this is what happens when new cards come out. They start really high. This is his raw silver prism. And then they drop. They drop. And then they'll usually be pretty steady. It's been like, this card's been like 70, 80 bucks, 60 bucks for a long time. It'll sell for different amounts based on the condition. But because it starts all the way high and comes crashing down, they usually don't go up much. You probably bought JJ McCarthy. Either A, you bought Prism or Optic right when it first came out, which is never a good idea. Or B, you just bought stuff that depreciates as the season gets closer. So only his best cards actually like maintain value or go up in value as it gets closer to the season. So like Prism or Optic, these are the two best types of cards that maintain its value as you get closer to the season. But if you look at something like a Jaden Daniels Optic preview, so this is a card that's similar to Optic, except it's not. So this is like the preview of Optic. And you could see this card, this pink Optic preview PSA 10 has actually, if you look in the past like 180 days, it's actually gone down in value as the season has gotten closer, which is opposite of what I say all the time. But it's because you have to be buying the right types of stuff. You can see like this card is just going down and down and down. It's kind of like Mosaic. Mosaic's another type of product. It's just not a premium product. So as more 10s come into the market, they go down in value because people shift their focus to the better stuff. So even something like this, Optic Preview, which is similar to Optic, except it's not. It's Optic Preview instead of regular Optic. It doesn't maintain its value, which is why sports cards could be kind of nuanced sometimes. So to answer your question, will they go up again? Whatever cards you bought, most likely not. Yeah. Let's see. Danny, you should feel free to call in and ask the question. With NFL license transferring to Topps, is Topps Chrome taking over as the top product to collect over Prism? If I had to take a guess, I would say yes. That would replace Prism football. That's like Topps Chrome is kind of like the most desired lower end Topps product. This is just me guessing. I have no idea. If I had to take a guess, I would say that Topps Chrome would replace Prism, and maybe like Topps Dynasty would replace National Treasures. I think. I'm just guessing. I have no clue what they're gonna do with that. But so I would assume that you're right with that. What basketball players should you buy? So I actually have a nice little list here in front of me. So I don't forget, because I seem to always forget a bunch. So the basketball players that I'm buying right now, and when I'm saying to buy, I'm talking about buy and grade, is, wait a second. So the best guys, in my opinion, to buy and grade right now, this is not buy and hold. These are buying raw cards to get graded, are the rookies that got drafted in 24. And that would be Stephon Castle, Reed Shepard, who's my favorite, Zach Edey, Jared McCain, Zachary Rishashar, Alexandre Sarr, Khalil Ware, Jaden Wells, Nikola Topic, Rob Dillingham, Dalton Connect, Ron Holland, and Matas Buzelis. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Those are the best guys, in my opinion, to buy raw to get graded. And then the guys, in my opinion, that I think are the best. Once again, this is no financial advice, so don't freaking go dump your life savings into this. But the guys who I think are the best buying cards already graded, where I think their stuff is low and you can just buy it and hopefully make 20, 30, 40%. I like Cade Cunningham. I like Paulo Banchero. Wembanyama is like a safer type of buy. If I had a pinpoint one, which I haven't bought any of his cards, so I probably shouldn't be saying this out loud, but screw it, is Cade Cunningham. I like him to go up the most in value. I think the Pistons are going to gain a lot of hype and excitement. They're going to be pretty good, along with the Magic too, because they traded for Desmond Bain. They traded for, so I think there's going to gain some hype and excitement before the season starts. Once again, wouldn't hold those guys into the season, but I kind of like where they're at. Especially like you could buy stuff like, once again, not guaranteeing anything here, but if you look at like a Cade, it's like a Cade Cunningham Silver Prism is an interesting card because these cards are really hard to grade. So I don't think it's a bad buy. Like you could see his stuff kind of spiked during the playoffs, and my boy Jalen Brunson knocked him out. And now that you could buy this card for like $460, I don't know how much this card's going to go up in value. Maybe, hopefully, like maybe $600, $700. But I'm looking to buy like higher in Cade Cunningham. You can see it's down, since the season. At one point it was like 600. Now it's like 450. So you go in the off season, you buy it. Sure, it shouldn't go down in value, but you never know. So, by the way, 90. There's 90 of you guys in here. Oh, we got our first caller. I was about to say. Hold on. Sorry, caller. We're getting you live. 1 second. 1 second. Slight technical difficulty. Hold on. We have to call you back. 1 second. As soon as I spoke, we had our first caller. I was like, wow, it's good timing. But yeah, to answer, while we get this caller on the phone. Those are the guys who, me personally, I'm buying. I think personally, there's a lot of upside with all those basketball guys that I just talked about because there's like people aren't grading their stuff. Because just no one knows who the hell they are, probably. Number one. And you could buy like so much good stuff. So like, let me just, instead of talking, let me explain. So like, let's take a random guy. So he's pretty hot. Matas Buzelis Prism. If you look here and you go to like, let's do like minimum $50. So they have a lot of cards that are not gradable, right? Because they're not worth a lot of money. But if you look here, actually, let's do this. Let's reverse engineer this. Let's look at PSA 10s. So his Silver Prism PSA 10 is $428. Okay. And if you pull up another tab on eBay, and you look at what this card actually sells for, not graded, $40. Pretty good, right? And because there's not a lot of people grading this stuff. Or if you take another one, like let's take like a colored card, let me try to find an auction, like his Blue Prism, right? Number to 199. So his blue out of 199, $96 is not graded. $82 not graded. 10's $522. That's pretty good money. So a lot of these like lower end colored stuff, there's like his Silver Prism sells for enough, but a lot of their Silver Prism stuff, like $5, $10, $20 of the guys I just mentioned, they don't really sell for enough for you to buy and get graded. But their colored stuff, I mean, it's crazy. You could do some pretty good damage. Even take someone like a Reed Shepherd, who I like the most to go up in value out of all these guys. Just kind of I just think the Rockets are gonna have some hype. Like a Reed Shepherd. Let's take this card, right? His Ice Prism. Let's see what this card sells for. So 2024 Reed Ice Prism. Let's see if we can find any sales. How's that looking? So we're still getting the technical difficulty stuff sorted, so bear with me. I have minimum price on. Why? Ice Prism. So like, I don't know if that card's worth $4. Okay, I guess this is an example. This card's like $4 to $5, not graded, and a 10 is $120. Now, I probably wouldn't buy a $5 card to get graded. I probably, at the minimum, spend at least $30, $40. But there's this huge margin with this stuff because not a lot of people are grading it. I'm not saying these players, like, probably almost all or most of these players are going to be worth way less when the season starts to actually roll. So I would never hold any of those players I just talked about, any of the basketball players. But to buy and grade for the purpose of making money, I think it's really good, in my opinion. So I like Jared McCain, too. Hopefully that answers your question as to what basketball players to buy. What is the biggest sports card market in the USA? Also, soccer is not the answer, right? Yeah, soccer is not the answer. There's just not a big market, and the biggest sports card market is football, like American football. Yo, Eric, any tips of moving leads from eBay off the site to maximize ROI? So technically, you're not supposed to be doing that, but and this could still get you banned from eBay. So I'm not recommending it. But what I've done is I'll take a screenshot of like my phone number. So I'll say, hey, I'm very interested in your card. Let's do a deal off of eBay. Text me here. I'll take a screenshot and I'll post that as an image into the messenger so eBay can't detect it. They might be able to detect it though. I'm not sure, but I'm not recommending to do it. But I could tell you that's what I've done in the past. eBay could, I'm not sure. I've had that's what I teach to my students. And I've had one or two say that eBay caught them. But other than that, it's been really good. So, yeah. Who makes that microphone and it sounds great and looks cool? So Shure, Shure, that's their logo. And it doesn't look like this. We actually had it basically like plasti dipped or spray painted to be Carolina blue for our company colors. Then this is a custom like microphone head. So, but it does sound good, yes. But it doesn't. They don't usually look like this. Let's see. What other questions we got? We're figuring out the caller stuff, by the way. So you can feel free to call in and we'll put you in the queue. But it just, there's some technical difficulties with the Bluetooth connecting to the phone. Let's see. Do you buy sports cards in cycle or do you ever buy graded cards and hold? So I do buy them in cycle. I think that's what you're asking, right? So let me explain. So like everything I do is in a cycle, right? So I'll buy football in like March, April, May, sell it in July and August. Then I'll buy basketball in like June, July, August, sell it in like September, October. And then I'll start buying baseball in October, November, December, sell it in February, March. And then I'll take that money and then I'll buy football. So it's like a continuous cycle. And me personally, I buy more cards now already graded because I buy higher end stuff and I don't have the time as much anymore. So I look for raw cards, but back in my heyday, I guess you could say, I was buying all raw stuff to get graded and just like getting it back, selling this for the season and repeating that cycle over and over. So everything I do is in a cycle. Do I hold long term into the season? No, unless it's like vintage stuff. So hopefully that answers your question. With PSA announcing the grading turnaround times will be better, when would you say is the latest to send cards for basketball? So it depends what service you're using. But if I was using the lowest end service, which they say is 45 business days now, which is actually probably, let's call it 2 months to be conservative. And then we know the basketball season starts in mid-October, latest August 1st, September 1st. Latest, I'd probably send, if you want to be ballsy, is like August 7th. Call it like August 7th. But as it gets closer to the season, what I'll do is I'll use the upper end service. So I'll start to buy higher end cards. So if it's like August 28th, for example, I'll start to buy cards that are higher end so I could use the $40 service so I could get them back before the season begins. Hopefully that makes sense. Agree on Magic and Paulo. Thank you. Do you think football uptowns are being overproduced? Yeah, probably, but they still sell well. So who cares? Yeah, they probably are overproduced. Like Panini doesn't give a shit since they're losing the license, so they're just trying to milk all the money they could. I had a student actually tell me he bought and sold this card and made some good money. Yeah, so this could be one of my student sales. But you can see this uptown you could buy for like mid 200s, and a 10 is 620. It's pretty good money for buying raw and getting it graded. I would never hold this card into the season, my God. But in terms of buying raw and getting it graded, they hold value. Are they being overproduced? Probably, but a lot of cards are. Looks like you're not from this country, Gabber Kim. I only know some good players like Bo Nix, CJ Stroud. That's all. So here's some good football players for you. since you could also use ChatGPT. But the best, like the 6 quarterbacks are Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Drake May, Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, and JJ McCarthy. Those are kind of the top guys. So, but keep in mind, I know you're probably not from this country. When the football season starts, the American football season, most of the cards do go down in value because most guys don't live up to the expectations. But I'm happy you're watching from overseas. I want to know I want to know Eric's thought about soccer cards. So my thought is, so the market is much smaller for soccer cards, but if you're overseas, you can do really well because a lot of people don't grade cards that live in Europe or Asia, and there's just not a lot of PSA 10s of this stuff. So you kind of have to pick, like Lamine Yamal. There's a lot of margin with his cards, but in America, there's just not as much of a market. So try to sell this stuff overseas, either in soccer Facebook groups, to local card shows in Asia or Europe or wherever you live. So that's my thought on soccer cards. But eventually they'll get there. Are you buying any Prism base cards to grade or just stick with better parallels? No, you can't. So like a Prism base card is going to be worth like $3, $5. And like a PSA 10 is going to be like 50. So like, this is just me guessing, but let's take a look. So even if you look at like I don't know, let's look at like a Bo Nix Prism base 2024. So like, if you look at this card, so just take a look at these numbers, right? $3 raw, $20 is a 9, $52 is a PSA 10. But if you buy this card for $3, you got to spend $20 to get it back from grading. It's going to cost you money in shipping. And my objective is, if something is going to get a 10, I want to at least double my money after everything. So if I spend $3 to get the card graded, and I spend $20 to get $3 for the card, $20 to get it graded, and another $5 to get it shipped, so I'm into it for $30. I want to at least net $60 in my pocket at the end of the day. And this is not doing it. So these cards are just simply too cheap. But if you take a look at this should be a good example. Bo Nix. Let's take a look here. So like his Bo Nix Orange Disco. So you could buy it for $29, spend $20 to get it graded, and a 10 is $189. And also I know from experience that these cards are a little bit easier to grade. You know, if you spend $29 to get it graded, and you spend, or $29 on the card, and you spend $20 to get it graded, some shipping stuff, you'll be into the card for like $55 to $60, and a 10 sells for $189. So you could at least over double your money. So something like this is much better bang on your buck. And then if it gets a 9, you know, you'll end up losing about $20, $30. But obviously that's a good game to play, right? You could either like make $100, lose $20, and if you're good and you grade 60, 70, 80% of your cards to get a 10, you'll make a lot of money. So that's why you should not grade base cards. It's just not mathematically worth it, in my opinion. Fix it. Oh, I could just hold it up to the mic. All right, we're gonna have to do it old-fashioned style. One second, we're getting the first caller in. Hey, what's up? You got Eric? You're live.
Hey Eric, what's going on? This is Eric as well.
Oh, Eric, good name. Nice to meet you.
And you too. So what's the best way to alter a card to send it to PSA? Would you use scissors or a razor?
You said alter a card?
Yeah, no, I was just fucking around.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I just got a submission back from like SGC, and like I still haven't got my PSA cards back yet. Like I said, I just started this. Sent some stuff off back in May. I'm at step 4 now, which I guess is good, the grading process. So I don't know from here how long it's going to take. But like, yeah, so I sent some cards to SGC that I didn't think we were going to get 10s. Like there was like no way in hell, but they were like really close. So I was just gonna see like if like my thought process was right, and I was like dead on. Like I sent like 9 cards, like 2 of them got 10s, and like 7 of them got 9.5s. It was crazy. But yeah. So actually, I just had actually like 2 questions.
Yeah, go for it.
I think I'm gonna know your answer for one of these.
Okay.
What's your thought on cracking slabs like an SGC 10 or like a BGS or whatever it's called, BGS, like a 9.5 and sending it to PSA?
So is this the one where you think you know my answer?
Yeah.
What do you think? I'm curious. What I don't even know my answer. So I'm curious what you think your answer is.
I think you're gonna say no, don't do this. But I think you had a story about you cracked some card. It was like a Shohei Ohtani or something. I think you told us because I called a little while ago, and you said you cracked one of the cards and it came back. It was like, and I don't know, you wiped it off or something was up with it, and you got it back like a 10 and made like $10,000 or some shit.
Yeah. It was an Ohtani card. I paid $9,700 for, and I sold it for $30,000. But so for you, I would not. I would just stick to buying lower end cards, $100, $200, and getting them graded. I would only ever crack a card that I could. One, you want to at least double your money and protect your downside. So, me personally, I don't do it with cards under like $1,000. A card has to be worth at least $1,000 because there's too many like raw cards out there that are in good condition to get graded under $1,000. And then number 2, so my preference is I try to do it with BGS 9s because no one likes them and cross it to a PSA 10. That's why I was able to make so much money without Ohtani. So, and what you want to look for, you need to make sure if it's a BGS 9, it has 9.5 corners. If it doesn't have 9.5 corners, you're fucked. Then it's never going to grade a 10, most likely.
I was just thinking it's a BGS 9.5 Luka Doncic red, white, blue. I got it for like a pretty good price, and I forget. I don't know what the PSA 10s are, but I'm sure that would convert to a 10.
Yeah. So then,
but that's under it. I know it's. I think the BGS not 9.5 is like 350 or some shit like that.
Yeah. Yes. And then I would. What was I going to say? Yeah. So if you're doing it with a BGS 9.5, you just need to make sure your downside is low so you need to make sure. This is just the way I look at it. If it's going to get a 10, you're going to at least over double your money. If you're not, can it. And then if it gets a PSA 9, make sure you're not going to lose more than like, that card's worth $350 and you're going to spend money to get it graded. Make sure you're not going to lose like $100. So you want to make sure like if it gets a PSA 9, it's like $100 you're losing. And if it gets a PSA 10, it's like $400 you're making. I want it like a 4-to-1 ratio. At least, but it's harder to find that with Beckett 9.5s because they usually sell in the middle of a PSA 9 and PSA 10. So it's kind of like a 50-50 gamble and you lose a lot of money if it ends up getting a PSA 9. Trust me, I've been there. But for your purposes, I would not, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just, and then I'm looking at like some other cards and just like, I don't know, I'm getting a lot of cards and like, I'm getting a lot of like kind of like shimmer cards, refractor cards, and like I'm just like nervous about sending these cards off because I don't like these. When I look at certain lights, like you see these like these all those kind of like shimmer refractor cards. They have those like little lines on them, and I don't know if that's like normal, like to make the card, or you're not. It's supposed to just like blend in seamlessly.
Yeah. So those cards, the shinier the surface, the more errors it usually has, which is why like a silver prism PSA 10 of Jaden Daniels you could buy for $200 or $300 and a 10 is like $1,200, right? So that's why there's such big margins. But what I would do if you're not sure, just look at other PSA 10s on eBay and just see if they have the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like hard to see the hold on 1 second. Everything working? Okay. 1 second.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
But what was your other question?
And the other one is so how do redemption cards work? So I bid on like this like last night. I never did it before. I don't even know like what they are. But it was like Abdul Carter like redemption card. and the picture on eBay is just like this is for a 35 point whatever, and so I just like bid on it, but like it's like they said it's Abdul Carter, like, but how do they like know that if the card's not even scratched off?
Yeah, because the way a redemption card works, so I've actually never messed around with them up until a few weeks ago, but the way it works, so let me give you an example from, did you see that $20,000 giveaway video I did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I opened up a case of 2021 National Treasures. Okay. And the rookies in there were like Jamar Chase, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, all those guys. And I pulled the redemption of Jamar Chase. So the reason it's like a redemption is because when Panini released the product, Jamar Chase did not sign his cards yet. For whatever reason, they didn't sign them. So I got this piece of paper. I redeem it on the Panini website. And then when he signs his cards, it could be 2 months later. It could be a year later. It could be 2 years later. Julio Jones signed his redemption cards like 8 years later or something insane. So the player hasn't signed his cards yet. And you're just waiting on the player. Usually it doesn't take more than a few months, but I've seen it take more than years. But that's how redemptions work. The players just don't sign them yet.
I don't think this was like a signature card. It just said like it, like, and I was like kind of going through, and you see like but they like already know, like the seller lists, like they already know like what the card is, because it just said like 2025. This is good for a defensive end from the 2025 draft. But then it lists it's Abdul Carter. So like,
because they know it says it on the card. It says it on the white piece of paper you get when you open up the box. It says who the player is.
Oh, okay. On the piece of paper, it just said like DE5 or something. Or DE1.
I have no idea. No, it usually says the player. It'll say like Abdul Carter. Like you're good for like a gold prism out of 10, Abdul Carter or whatever. It'll tell you the specific type of card.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, did these people already like redeem the card, and then they're just gonna send me the redemption?
Yeah, they could like
redeem it.
Yeah, from my knowledge, they could transfer you the redemption code or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm like seeing, you're seeing a lot of like, I'm just kind of like scrolling through to see like what people are bidding on. It's like, like you're seeing people bidding on like redemptions for, fucking, what's that, Cam Ward and all that. And I just didn't know, like, so do you get that card, like, so you go and you scratch it off on the website, and I'm going to get is the card like already, like they already made the card?
Yeah, they're just waiting. They're waiting on the player to sign it. That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
So, because it just says like expires not next year, but like if I go and I get the redemption card, I scratch it off, I go on the website, I just have to wait.
Yep.
I don't know like when I'm going to get it.
Yep. It could be. It's usually a few months, but it could take years. But it's usually a few months.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Gotcha.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, that's about it, bro. I appreciate you.
All right, sweet, dude. I appreciate you calling in. Good luck.
Yeah, man. Get your technical guy. You're gonna have to get him some training or something.
I know, right? All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.
All right, bye. All right, next caller. Hopefully that sounds good with the mic, the Bluetooth that connects to my earpiece. Being a little funny. Hey, what's up? You got Eric? You are live.
Hey, what's up, Eric? My name's Andrew. How you doing, bro?
Oh, what's your name? Say it again.
Andrew.
Andrew, what's up, dude? Where are you calling from?
From PA, but I'm from Tampa.
Ah, from Tampa. That's where our headquarters is.
Oh, sweet, man. Yeah, I used to live over in the Cheval area, so.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Yeah, usually it's the opposite. Usually people move from PA to Tampa.
Yeah, usually, but actually I'm starting school at Penn State in the fall.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, super stoked. But thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Just had a couple questions if you have time.
Yeah, go for it. I got not too much. I have a huge queue of callers, so try to keep it a few minutes, but go for it.
Cool. So I watched one of your shows. You're talking about trying to not buy high value cards like online. I ended up finding this Peyton Manning 2000 Don Russ, and it's signed an authentic auto 10, and it's a pop 1. And I got this card, I think, for it was like $305 on the on a PSA auction. I did my research on this card, and it's not serial numbered, but the print run was only to 20. There's only six slabs in existence. 5 are with Beckett, and none are higher than an 8.5 grade. One person is selling their 8.5. I think it was for at least $1,000.
Okay.
So I was really just trying to call you and just kind of get an understanding about like maybe what a good ballpark value is, because I mean, with it being a pop 1, print run of 20 of a top 3 quarterback all time, you know what I mean?
Wait, sorry, I may have missed it. Did you get it graded?
So when I got the card through PSA's eBay auction, and the card was just sitting there, and I was like, "There's no way that thing could be that cheap." And
wait, what was it again? It was give me the year. 2000 what?
2000 Don Russ preferred.
Okay.
Preferred signature series. Peyton Manning.
Okay, Peyton Manning. Okay, I can see what it is.
And the card number is PS-3.
Yep, I see it.
When I look, yeah.
So you're asking me what's it worth?
Yeah, like, because I mean, to me, I'm just kind of getting my feet wet back into like collecting cards, more or less with slabs as well. Like, it just, that number, I feel like I got that number like for a steal, you know what I mean, for 305. But I really just trying to get a true like market value of what you would possibly think a card could go for.
Well, the market told you it's worth $305, but honestly, a card like that, you could probably actually take it to a card show or a Facebook group, and as long as someone doesn't see the sale, I wouldn't be surprised if you got like $400 to $500 for it. It is a little bit cheap, but the best way, in my opinion, to start like buying a slab and just trying to flip it, it's hard because everyone could see the sale, right? Everyone could see what you paid. Right. So even if it is worth $500, anyone with half a brain is just going to go to eBay and be like, wait, you paid $305. I'll give you $310, right? So that's why that strategy usually doesn't work too well unless you're like being creative and you have, you're timing the market. You're buying someone while they're really low and they're going to go up in value. Like Peyton Manning's not going to go up in value or down in value. He's probably just going to stay where he is and maybe slowly go up over time. So the strategy I would deploy if I were you is buying raw cards and getting them graded. But yeah, it's probably worth like $400 to $500, that card. And I wouldn't be surprised if you got that. But it's just, you could put your money in a better spot, right? You could take that $300, buy 3 Silver Prism Bo Nixes, and if 2 out of 3 get a 10, you made, what, like $500, $600, $700, right? Instead of just.
Holy cow, yeah.
So, yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, awesome, man. Yeah, realistically, I bought this slab free to watching that specific episode where you said that, and now that kind of talking with you briefly and kind of picking your brain about it, I'll definitely keep my eye out for that, because that definitely seems like, I mean, even if one got a 10, you know what I'm saying? It's like you could still sell the other 2 and still make, not as much as
that's
10,
why, yeah.
So yeah, man. Hey, and I appreciate you so much. You guys do so much for the hobby, man. And thank you guys so much, man. I hope to hear from you guys soon.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. Yeah, let me know how it goes. Call back in a few weeks. Keep me updated.
Hey, thanks, man. Have a good one, guys.
All right. You too. Bye-bye. All right. Continuing the queue of callers with our technical difficulties. Shane, you have to call into the number below, and yeah, we have a queue. Hey, what's up? You have Eric. You are live.
What's going on, Eric?
What's up, man? What's your name?
My name's Shane from Minnesota.
Shane, wait, your last name's not Humphreys, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's you. Then your picture is of a really old guy, and you don't sound really old.
Oh, yeah, the Plan B.
Yeah, I was expecting an old guy asking me about his like cards from the 60s and 70s.
I mean, I could go there if you want me to.
Nah, it's okay. What's up? How can I help?
Yeah, so I was having some trouble pricing a card that I had gotten at a card show. I don't know if you could help me out with it.
Go for it.
It's 2023 JJ McCarthy wild card, 7-card stud auto. It's left crystal diamond gold.
What's the number 2?
1.
It's
101.
It's 101. Is it autographed?
Yes. Could I send you a picture in the...
Hold on. Let me see. I may not need a picture.
Okay.
Anywhere.
This call is being recorded.
Anywhere from 100 to 150.
Okay, and then so I sent it off to PSA a couple weeks ago, and I got the autograph graded on it.
Okay. You better make sure that autograph is like crystal clear and perfect, because if there's anything slightly wrong with it, it's going to get a 9 and it'll diminish the whole value of the card.
Right, and so I know I was taking a risk on that because all my sports card knowledge has come from you, so I do gotta say I appreciate you for that.
Well, looks like I'm doing something right.
No, for sure, man. And like last week, I was watching your show, and you had that guy that had that Bowman baseball card that the autograph looked great, but the start of the J, he had that little tail on it, right?
Yep.
But it's weird because and I listen to a lot of your content, so I just do what you always say, and you say, well, just look up other cards that have already been graded, right?
Yep.
And my whole thought on that was like JJ McCarthy's autograph, right? We've all seen it. It's 2 J's, right? I mean, that's pretty hard to... It's like, it's pretty easy to be able to tell if it's consistent, right? Because like some other guys' autographs, it's just a bunch of loops and shit. So you can't really judge it off the other ones, but his is just 2 J's. And they're like, my autographs, because I actually scored a Prism Draft Picks autograph too at that card show.
Okay.
And I got both of the autographs graded. But like I say, I looked online, and my autographs look better than what the 10s are out there.
Okay,
so,
you should be good then.
So do you, just hypothetically speaking, if that card came back, a PSA 10 with an autograph 10, could you ballpark it for me by chance?
250 to 300.
Still.
Yeah.
It's just because it's the wild card.
Yeah, it wouldn't go crazy. It's just not a super in demand card. If it was like a Prism card with like 4 or 5 times the money, but like probably 250. It's not something that's gonna have like crazy margins, because your average JJ McCarthy collector, it's not something he will super desire to have.
Okay, yeah, that's cool, man. And then, so how about the Prism Draft Picks autograph McCarthy, if that came back at 10-10?
Wait, what card is that?
It's a Prism Draft Picks signature. I want to say it's let me pull it up here.
What's the number 2?
It's not numbered.
Is it the blue one?
What's that?
Oh wait, no, never mind. Not numbered. It's a silver.
Not numbered. Yeah.
What's the color of the card?
Silver and blue, with a blue background with white or yellow. I mean.
And does it say the word Saturday Star on it in the middle, or no?
No, it says draft picks, autographs.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Prism Draft Picks.
I see. Okay, hold on. 250 to 300. Oh wait, yeah, 250ish.
Okay, that would be with the 10-10.
Maybe closer to 300 with a 10-10.
Okay. Cool. And then, yeah, I guess I appreciate you doing that for me, Eric. That's kind of where I was at with them. I just wanted to see, and I just didn't know with the autograph if it came back at 10, if it was closer to like an 800-ish range, but yeah.
No, it's not. I would suggest buying the like pro uniform stuff. The college stuff doesn't have as much demand, so the margins when you get a PSA 10 are not as high.
Yeah, gotcha. I actually won that, well, not won it, but out of a mystery pack at a card show weeks ago. So
gotcha, makes sense.
Yeah, and then and I was gonna pick your brain about this. What was your thoughts on Spencer Rattler? Because I didn't have a lot of money to start with my inventory, so like I was trying to think outside the box, right? And okay, so Kellen Moore, right, was the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, right? They had a great offense. He left, obviously injuries and stuff, but the Cowboys just have not been the same, right? Then he goes to the Eagles, and then granted they got Saquon Barkley, right? But still, like I feel like Kellen Moore was that piece that they needed to get by the Chiefs, right? So now he goes to the Saints, and everybody's talking about the Sal, but it's like I don't think people realize if you spend 7 years in college, that's not a good thing. That's actually probably a bad thing, right? Like I know injuries. And
well, what's how much? What's your budget for buying cards?
Well, I mean, I have a budget, but it's just with the wife and everything. She's not really cool with it. So
your wife, your wife doesn't like you making money.
Yeah, exactly. Trust me. I've tried to sit down and explain it to her, but I feel like it's just like you say. Until she sees it work, she's just.
Oh yeah, wives are the enemy of sports cards.
Clearly, they are though, man. And like it's weird because I'm normally kind of skeptical when I'm like hear this, but like when I listen to you talk, I know that like sure, there's probably some sort of things that you're gaining off of this, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I sell a program. That teaches people to do it.
You also buy graded cards, right? So the more people that are grading cards, there's just going to be more cards for you to buy in the next few years, right?
Not the cards I buy. The cards I teach people how to buy wrong get graded, like $100, $200, $300 cards for the most part. The ones I buy already graded are usually thousands. The gain I get from this, like the reason I do this content is to introduce people to the idea of sports cards, and so they buy my program. That's why I do this. And I'm happy to give away all the information for free as well. Like a lot of the information I give on here is in my program, but people pay me for the implementation and have it like chronologically, or not like chronological, but like very structured, and having a coach telling you what to do and a custom game plan. But yeah, that's what I get. Not scared to hide it. We have like 40 employees and, it's a pretty big operation behind me. But yeah, that's what I get off it.
Well, yeah, honestly, and that's kind of what like made me like. I can just tell that you don't sugarcoat shit, right? You just tell it how it is, which that's why I was like, okay, well, I feel like he's being honest here, so let me just try it. And like you say, if you only want to take $20 and just try it, right? You don't have to really go all in. So I was just piecing off some of my like personal.
Well, let me ask you this: would the wife let you grab $1,000 and put it into cards?
I mean, probably not at this moment.
500?
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay. I would, so what I would do if I had $500, I would buy raw cards, get them graded, but I send them to SGC so they get back faster. You could build, because like, if you have $500 and you're just going to blow your budget and sit on your hands for 2 months, well, the cards get back from PSA. SGC should take like 2 weeks. You won't net the same returns. You'll make less money, but you'll be able to gain momentum. That's the first strategy. The second strategy is go tell your wife that more money is better than less.
Well, right. And actually I did use that strategy because I had a 1992 Fleer Ultra Shaquille O'Neal rookie card. I sent that into SGC and that came back at 10. And I had a couple Prism, JJ McCarthy, stuff like that. It all came back 10. I think I sent in 8 cards. That was my first submission ever, and they all came back 10s from SGC. Even that 1992 Shaquille O'Neal card.
How much did you make from it? The submission?
There was a lot of trades that I had because I went to my first card show with those, and so I did do some trading. But I mean, I came out with way more cards than I went in there with, right? Like, yeah, you can really make some great deals at card shows. So I ended up getting all trade with that.
Mm-hmm. So gotcha. Well, cool. Well, hopefully I helped you a little bit. Was there? Did I answer your question?
I was just wondering, like, did you think Spencer Rattler was a get buy? Because
no.
I have a submission right now.
No. Yeah, sure.
He's gonna be the starter though.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yes.
The dude's gonna be on a year, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I feel like Kellen Moore is more of a quarterback whisperer than my guy here in Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell, right?
O'Connell. Yeah.
Everybody has already kind of crowned that guy, and honestly, if you watch the games last year, the last 2 games, he really didn't help out his quarterback at all, right?
Yeah, my suggestion is always to sell it before the season. Just most guys don't perform up to expectations. I mean, especially I know Kellen Moore's great, but also the Saints' options are just limited. Besides Alvin Kamara, and just. I would just rather put my money at that point in September, October, November into baseball stuff that's down and just get it graded and sell it while it comes up. Most guys just don't play up to expectations. It's just how it goes. So my opinion, sure. I would never do it. Could you be right? Of course you could. There's always 1 or 2 quarterbacks every year that surprise everybody, like Sam Darnold last year. So could he be that guy? Sure.
I definitely wouldn't keep him into the season, but I was just thinking even if he just had 1 good preseason game and then they came out and said that he was going to be the starter.
Yeah.
So just go up maybe 20% then.
Oh, yeah, it'll probably go up more. Yeah, before the season. Yeah, go for it. Goodbye.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's kind of what I was wondering, but it's weird because I feel like he's kind of a sneaky buy that nobody's talking about. And I was thinking about it last week. I'm like, dude, I should have bought way more of the optic red waves and the red Pandoras because I could have got all those cards for $3, like the red Pandoras.
Oh, yeah, you could.
Yeah. And I would have made a killing on that shit. And that would have been great because, like I said, I didn't have really the money in the beginning for the inventory. So I could have bought up a bunch of those red Pandora rattlers for $3, dude. And probably turn around. Would you say that card, if he was a starter, would go for $130?
Which one?
The red, the Donruss Optic Preview Red Pandora.
The red, that sounds kind of high. No, not that high. The prism stuff will pop off. Like a silver prism you can buy for $4, $5, and a 10 right now is $150. So,
okay, yeah, I got you. I feel you on that.
Yeah, but any other questions?
No, that'll do it, man. I appreciate you.
All right, cool. Yeah. Keep buying. Go make some money, and then go show the wife that hey, this actually works.
Yeah, cool, man. I'll keep you updated. So
awesome, cool. Good luck.
See you, Eric.
All right, bye. Sorry if you're in the middle of calling in, it just automatically goes to voicemail while I'm on the phone because it enters you into the queue. We're calling people back. I promise. There's a ton of callers. Call in X person. Good questions that guy had. I feel it. You get emotionally involved into these guys, and you're like, there's just no way he fails. But they do. And also, I don't know if Spencer Rattler's going to be the starter because that other kid they drafted, Tyler Shaw or whatever his name is, he's been in the league for or he's been in college for a long time. He's already old, so I don't know if they're going to want him sitting. And Spencer Rattler didn't look that great last year, but yeah. Hey, what's up? You got Eric? You are live.
Hey, Eric, it's Drew. How are you?
What's up, Drew? Have we spoke before?
Yes.
Cool.
I've called him a couple times.
Sweet. How can I help?
I've got a Jared McKinney All-Star to 99 Prism at PSA right now. It's in the grading phase.
Okay.
I haven't gotten the grade yet, but if it tens, I feel pretty confident that it will. If it tens, it'll be the first PSA 10 of that card. I know you say not to sell on eBay. PSA, straight on something like that, being the first to market. Would you think that would be a decent idea, or would you rather?
Yeah, that's a fine. Yeah, that's a fine idea. I would. So yes, I would try to sell it on Facebook first. What'd you pay? $150?
Yeah, I think 175.
Okay, and I would first take it to eBay and try to sell it for or Facebook. I would try to sell it for 600, then 500, and then I would auction it. And then if you want to see what you could do, so if I share my screen here, I gotta type with one hand because one hand's being occupied. But if you just look at Blue Pulsar, Prism, PSA 10 2024, and you look at other guys, just look at what their PSA 10 sold for and just see what the margins were. So let's see if Caitlin Clark, that's not a good example. But I can't find any right now. But what I would do is just, for example, if a Stephon Castle blue pulsar prism sells for like 200 raw and a 10 is 800, then that tells me the multiplier is about 4 times. And then you could just do the same math to Jared McCain. But I would imagine that card being easily over 500.
Yeah, the closest thing I could find for him, other than the auto stuff, there was some. He had 3 blue prisms to 199 that sold for 600, 385, and 433.
Yeah, different. Wait, what'd they sell for?
The first one went for 600. The second one for 385, and the third one went to 433.
Interesting. What do the raws do?
You know what? I didn't check that.
That's a totally different card.
Right.
It's not that comparable because it's like that's a much more liquid card. That's like his original color. But let me look here. That might give me a ballpark of as to what I think. Yeah, the last one did. Yeah, they do like 170, 180, and 10s do like 430, which is kind of low actually. But yeah, I would expect that to be like $500.
Gotcha. Cool. One other thing, I know this isn't really what you do, but
go for it.
I don't need the side income really for anything specific.
Okay.
LeBron PSA 10 rookies holding for 20 years. What do you think?
I like that question. Not a lot of people ask me that. What do I think? Let's see. What do I think of that? Yes, I like. Me personally, if I was just, it sounds like you're just dumping like $5, $10, $20, $30,000 into cards and you just want to sit on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I think there's more upside with vintage baseball in terms of just like it going up. So, they're both good. I just think there's much more of a limited supply. I know there's a much more limited supply. So, like 1933 Gowdy Ruths. 1951 Bowman Mantles, 1952 Topps Mantles, those are expensive. Like 1954 Topps rookie Hank Aaron's, 1955 Topps rookie Roberto Clementes, like those stuff. Even low grades, like a PSA 1 Gowdy Ruth, it's like $4,000, $5,000, depending on how it looks. I'm also biased because that's my personal collection, the Gowdy Ruths. But I think those 50s PSA low grades, I'd rather have those than LeBron rookies.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool.
Sweet. Is that it?
Cool. That's about all I had. On the LeBron stuff, if it is something that I go with, do you think a more common PSA 10 versus a less common PSA 8, for example? Which one do you think would have better long-term value? Like a lower pop PSA 8?
Probably the less common stuff, but the only stuff I would buy of LeBron if I was holding long-term to Topps Chrome.
Yeah.
And then his what is it, his Ultimate Signatures? What is it called? Ultimate SP Signatures or it's really expensive, so maybe not. Topps Chrome is the stuff I would go after, but the problem is it's like all his base stuff. There's so much of it, and then you could upgrade to his refractor, which gets really expensive, and then any of his colored stuff is really really expensive. So yeah, I would just rather have the low grade PSA vintage stuff, but. To answer your question, I'd probably go with the PSA 8.
Yeah. My thought process was just looking at pop reports for like the Jordan, some of the lower, like a PSA 8 Jordan versus, I think it's been a minute since I looked, but they had like 2000, pop 2000 or something. That was about the same as his Topps Chrome or even his Topps base one. So that's kind of was my thought process.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I would, if I'm buying long term, and just holding, I want to try to buy stuff that's not so common. The Topps Chrome PSA 10 LeBrons, they just sell all the time. So, not my type of long-term purchase, but that's my viewpoint.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, I appreciate it.
Sweet. Thanks for calling, Drew.
Yep.
All right, bye. We're chugging along here. We are chugging along. This is the giveaway soon. All these cards and these National Treasure cases that I opened that you may have saw in the video that I did on Friday. Someone's going to get them for free. It's a few $1,000s in cards. Except the Jamar the Jamar Chase I pulled, I redeemed it and I could transfer those Panini points to whoever got it, but it's a fucking scam. It's like $2,000 the value of the card, and they gave me like a few $100 in Panini points. You could probably try to fight it if you want, but hey, what's up? You have Eric, you're live.
Hey, Eric, this is Alex from Arkansas.
What's up, Alex from Arkansas? How can I help?
Man, I've got a bunch of the 5 quarterbacks.
Okay.
Now, I'm wanting to get rid of them because you're telling me to.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep a few of them, but I want to know when's the latest I can get rid of them.
The day before the season starts?
The day before the season starts. Now, I got a show to do on Saturday. I'm going to probably try to unload most of it.
Yep. You could still wait a little bit, but the guys, like the newer guys, like the 5 quarterbacks that you just talked about, they usually don't go up. They don't go up too much in value before the season starts, because they maybe a little bit, because they already like came down a lot because they start out really high, then they come down. But to answer your question, just sell it before the season starts. But yeah, you could sell them now.
Sell them now, and they're not going to go up anymore?
Yep.
You don't think?
I mean, you never know, right? Anyone could double in value, but from my experience, they usually don't.
I got you. All right, that's really all I want to know, because I listen to your show all the time. So
sweet.
I mean, I hear all the other questions. So.
Oh yeah, hopefully it helps you out a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Time and everything, man.
All right. Thank you.
Content too, man.
Thanks, bro.
Day, sir.
You too.
Yes, sir.
Bye. Yes, these are the giveaway. It's actually pretty fire. Like I put all the good cards in one. I don't know where they are. I don't want to mess them up. But I put all the good cards in one of these boxes. I'll end up shipping them to the winner. Where are the good cards? I don't know what box I put them in. They're pretty fire. One more caller? No more? This is actually probably my favorite card. The Bill Cowher 101 printing plate. Someone's going to get this for free. So, all right. Let's do the giveaway. We've gotten through all the callers. So, 20,000 subscribers. I said I was going to give away all the cards I pulled in the National Treasures case. I'm not lying. I am. Not for views. It's just to give back because you guys have helped me out a lot. I'm willing to help you guys out a lot. So the rules were, if you liked, you commented, and you subscribed, you get put into this giveaway. And the way we're going to do it, so this is the way I do all my giveaways. So we have this duck race. So there's about 40 of you guys that actually followed all the rules. You liked, you commented, and you subscribed. There's a bunch of you guys that commented, but you didn't like. There was a bunch of you guys that liked and commented, but you didn't subscribe. You had to do all 3, like I said. So all the subscribers, all the YouTube people's names are in here. And if you see yourself as the winner, shoot me a message on Instagram. You could shoot an email to info@majorleagueprofits.com with your shipping address, and we will ship this to you guys. If you don't message, I'm not going to go hunting for you. So if you don't message me in the next month, I'm going to sell these myself and probably give some of the money away to charity or something. So you have 30 days from when I'm talking right now to shoot me a message on info@majorleagueprofits.com. You could shoot me a message on Instagram. I would definitely shoot me an email just saying, hey, you're the winner of the giveaway, and we'll verify that this was your handle on YouTube. And then we'll ship it to you. But let's get this started. So it's 30 seconds. All these ducks are going to race, and each duck is attached to someone's YouTube handle. So good luck, and let's see who wins. Let's see. These are all the guys that follow the rules. This is my favorite way to do giveaways, by the way, the duck race. All right. Wow, there's so many. Usually they separate more, but there's so many within so close. Oh, this purple one's coming up. Ooh. Oh. Superman. Oh, the pink one's coming up. Oh, yeah. David Gash, congratulations. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. You get all these. It should be like $3,000 to $4,000 ish in cards. We'll sell them and make a quick few grand. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Shoot me an email, like I said, to info@majorleagueprofits.com or a text message to wherever. Just get in contact with me. You have 30 days from now to do it. If you don't, I'm assuming you just didn't see it. or that, you know, you don't want it. But thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.